just want to say sorry. If you're out there listening, Jen, I just want you to know, I shouldn't have done it. But at that time, you can see, you can understand, can't you? I know everybody says this, but I did it for us. I really did. And if you're heading for the door, please just stop. Wait for half a minute. Please just stop. Turn around, baby. Listen. Please. Plenty of people write autobiographical fiction. It's a thing, right? It's so common, it's more than respectable. Tobias Wolff, John Updike, Philip Roth, Sheila Hetty. I won't mention James Frey if you won't. And it's not like I was out of ideas. Short stories, so many stories. I mean, they just poured out, right? Even got published, some of them. But Deborah was adamant, that way that she is. I gotta see a novel, Robert. You want to make it in this business, right? You want to give up the day job? Yes, Deborah, I'd say, banging my head over my gnocchi in that uptown Italian that she favoured. Glad of the free meal, but ashamed to be glad. My teacher's salary wasn't half what you earned at the bank. I felt inadequate next to you. Jen, you were so glossy, so effortlessly successful and slick, and I was so indulgent in my penny ante scribblings. So write me a damn novel already, Robert. I got the publishers asking. I'm not even kidding you. Mandy and Harper's would bite my arm off, I know it. We both know you can write. So find a subject, any subject, and get on it, okay? Deborah's expensively moisturized fingers covered mine. Her immaculate nails, paid for by six-figure deals, by valuable novel-writing clients, tapped lightly against her Patek Philippe. Time's a ticking, young Robert, she said softly. Soon you won't be young anymore. I left that meeting with fire in my belly and determination in my heart. I was 29 years old, had been writing and teaching part-time for 2 years, and only kept body and mind and soul together. I wasn't going to be one of those assholes who lives off their girlfriend. Not anymore. But what can I write about? Write what you know. Write what you know. It kept on beating and beating in my head. But what did I know? And what did I have to say about it? I was after something sexy, with hipster appeal, a serious undertone, and something to say. And then I was like, fuck! I know! I've been staring this in the face all along. You! Jen, you! I'll write about you! I was supposed to come round that night, remember? But instead I went straight home and I wrote 6,000 words about the night that you and me met. And I kept writing till I had 3 chapters, and then I sent them off to Deborah. And she phoned me back that afternoon. She phoned me, Jen, remember? And then I knew I was onto a winner. It was a pretty fucking amazing idea, Jen. You gotta give me that. The economic and social dynamics of East versus West played out through a couple's relationship. She is a high-powered Hong Kong Chinese banker, beautiful, bilingual, unflappable, with slender high ass like a pair of tan peaches in a basket. He is an older, creative type, light stubble, piercing dark eyes, who teaches her to appreciate art and culture even while he cedes his traditional position of financial power to her. It was pure 24-karat gold. And Mandy at Harper's, she just lapped it up. Deborah loved all the financial and business metaphors that I worked in from listening to talk about work over dinner. You always loved my puttanesca pasta, Jen. I'll make it again for you one day, baby. Meanwhile, Mandy really went for the bedroom stuff. Admittedly, I exaggerated somewhat, threw in a little bit of rope bondage and a bit of Kama Sutra to spice it up. Create what the narrator, Bob, calls a Japanese-Indian fusion of passion. Mandy said it was like 50 Shades meets Wild Swans. I hadn't actually read Wild Swans, but that sounded pretty good to me. And I knew you had, so I'm sure you'd be pleased. That's That's why I didn't tell you about the book deal until the launch, baby. That's why I'd never let you read what I was writing, because I wanted it to be a surprise, a wonderful surprise. No more loans. No more covering my rent on bad months. No more my boyfriend, the unpublished writer. East meets West was my tribute to you. You were my inspiration, Jen. I even dedicated it to you. How was I to know your parents would be offended by the sex scenes? How was I to know the COO at your bank would recognise the deals your character, Jan, talked about over dinner? I didn't know they'd fire you for breach of confidentiality. Don't get me wrong, baby. I was sorry at the time, sorrier than you could ever say. I had no desire to be intrusive, perverted, or patronising, to violate your privacy, or ruin your life, as you put it. Somewhat overstating, I think, the case in my opinion, but I forgive you. You were angry. I would have come right after you the day you left, but I had an interview with Howard Stern, and Deborah was talking to Oprah. How could I leave the country at the start of a national book tour, especially follow you somewhere like Hong Kong? So I'm sorry I left it so late, baby. I really am. I don't know your address in Hong Kong, thanks to the way that your interfering left it. I wouldn't be allowed to approach within 50 feet of you, even if I did. So this is the only way that I can reach you now. I remember that you always loved going to story and poetry nights in New York. That's how we met after all. And I thought that maybe, just maybe, you might come along to something like this in Hong Kong. Are you here, Jen? Waiting in the crowd? Amazed? Horrified? Delighted? Relieved, maybe? Wanting to forgive me? Secretly lonely? Remorseful? Wishing that you'd never left? Wanting to tell me that you love me too? You love me still? Well, that's what I'm hoping. And to be totally honest, this is going to sound a whole lot better coming out of an actor's mouth than mine. They do sincerity and contrition so much better. Don't get me wrong, Jen. I feel sorry, sorrier than I can ever say. Even after 3 years, my face just doesn't show it right. Plus, this way I don't risk having a drink thrown over me or possibly getting arrested. So, baby, if you're out there somewhere in the darkness, on the internet, wherever, whatever, please forgive me. Please. Look into the actor's eyes. Listen to the actor's voice. His pain. His passion. My words. I'm nothing without you. A dry husk. An empty shell echoing meaningless sounds. You're my muse, baby. Plus, I'm contracted to write another book, so I kind of need you around for that. So, call me.